we going? Oh, hey. Um, it's August 9th. Still pandemic. Just decided to do a little pandemic jam today. Found a fife book with some tunes in it that I want to play. So I'm going to go through this book, the complete music for fife and drum. Magical. And talk a little bit about whatever it is I'm going to play. Mostly, ancient style tunes. Some easy, most easy because I'm wildly unrehearsed. And, we'll play a couple of tunes. So stay tuned for the August 9th edition of the Pandemic Jam. Okay, here we go. So, first set of tunes, a duet or a pair of tunes. Actually, the first two tunes in this book, oddly enough. When Johnny Comes Marching Home, which dates back to the 1860s, and I'll follow it up with another 6/8, also dating back to the 1860s, which is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Now, the interesting thing about the Battle Hymn of the Republic is I've seen it, and it's a band style, and I've seen it in 4/4 or 2/4 time, but Fife will always play it in 6/8 meter, so that's interesting. They're both harken back to the Civil War era, even though our motif today is sort of, whatever is in this book, which is kind of like a whole myriad of tunes from the ancient lexicon or ancient canon with two ends. No, one end. Two ends is boom, one end is stuff. So for today's performances, I'm using my Connecticut-made Ron Peeler Ranger Green swirly fife. Swirly fife. And I'm wearing my official Greek-made Greek fisherman's cap. Woo! We're going on a trip to Connecticut in a couple of weeks, and I'm trying to get my Connecticut going. Oh, okay. Anyway, so here's When Johnny Comes Marching Home into the Battle Hymn of the Republic. One, two, three. Okay, a little bit of a fluff there in the coda part of When Johnny Comes Marching Home, but you get the idea. A couple of classic tunes in 6/8 time from the complete music for fife and drum. Let's see what else. Hi, we're back. Number two. I'm going to play Yankee Doodle at least two different ways, maybe three. I don't know. But what's cool about this book is there's a section of annotations about the various tunes done by a really smart, knowledgeable friend of mine named Sue Schifaldi. And she writes about Yankee Doodle. The origins of this familiar tune are obscured by the myths that have sprung up around it. It was heard in America as early as 1768 when a Boston newspaper reported the Yankee Doodle song as the capital piece played by a newly arriving British band of music. By the time of the Revolution, Yankee Doodle had become an American favorite, and nearly 100 years later, fifers and drummers were still playing Yankee Doodle, and now 240 something years later, we still are. When Army Inspector General Sylvester Churchill, I know about him, began drafting a new drill manual in 1858. He never finished it. He retired and the war started. That was it. He was told by his music consultant, among his music consultants, by the way, were the instructors on Governor's Island, that any drummer who has learned to beat the drum properly will know at once how to beat Yankee Doodle. It appears as a fifer's exercise in the Bruce and Emmett, but as a duty repertoire in Gardner Struby's Instructor, which was published in 1869 after the war. Struby calls it double time march number 2 and dots the rhythm to match the single drag drum beat. In many versions, Yankee Doodle remains the signature tune of all traditional fife and drum corps. At Connecticut's 1888 Drummers Convention, it was one of the tunes played en masse by the corps who's attended. A New York newspaper called Moodis's performance of Yankee Doodle in 1879, and they're still around, by the way. Their pièce de résistance, the filling brought out the greatest skill of the corps. The alternate version, collected by Acton Ostling in 1939, is still played by the Moodis, Chester, and other corps. Yankee Doodle is played by everybody. When I first learned how to play fife, we had a version that the corps I played in played. It was called the old version of Yankee Doodle, which is kind of funny because it turns out that there's no real old version. There were two versions or two variations on the same tune that were played all contemporaneous to each other. So there was no old and new, but they referred to them as old and new. So there was an old version, new version, and then when I started doing Civil War music, I learned the Gardner Struby version, even though it's post-war, by about 4 years. And it's kind of interesting. So I'm going to squirt through all three of them. The old first, then the new, and then Gardner Struby's. In all likelihood, the one in the middle, the new version, is the one you are most familiar with. And if you're of the younger set, you probably recall it all as the Barney song. Ooh. Yankee Doodle, old, new, and whatever. Yeah, so that first one, the old version, is uh, um, kind of prominent because of the blaring C sharp in the second strain, which always drove me crazy as a kid learning it because it didn't sound like any Yankee Doodle I'd ever heard before. The second version is more like the version of Yankee Doodle we've all heard growing up, especially if you listen to the Barney television program. The third version, the da 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 da, that was written or arranged in a way to match a style of drum beat. We used to use that to make guys march faster in reenacting. All of it a legitimate Yankee Doodle. There was even a variation on the middle version on its second strain. We'd go, so you go. I don't even know where that came from, but I played in a corps that used that all the time too. So I was kind of like, yeah, we're going to do that. So yeah, Yankee comes in many variations, all Yankee Doodles, all legit. And well, there you go, Yankee Doodle, many variations on a theme. Let's look for something else. Take two on reel number 3. Um, the tune we're going to play goes back to about 1877. It was written by Henry C. Work, who wrote a bunch of different tunes in the mid 19th century. Grandfather's Clock, a big favorite in the fife and drum community at jam sessions and parade. So much so that when you play in a band that dares to be different, they probably avoid this song on tune. It's 3 parts in 2/4 time. It's pretty cool. You probably heard it if you have a folky bend to your listening practices. Grandfather's Clock by Henry Work. Now, there was a thing we would do on that last part uh, that was kind of funny. We'd go, the first time through, we'd go, we'd do that first time through. On the repeat, we'd go, we just raise it up an octave. The other thing that I got into the habit of doing, somebody laid it on me when I was a young rebellious buck in the fife community. At the end of the lines, which kind of end, they have a fairly common set of endings. Bum, 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 bum. We would go, so you go, and you'd end every line that way. It'd be like, ooh. He only did it in jam sessions, so nobody knew what the hell you were doing anyway. But it was fun. You thought you were being cool. You were being cool. So the Grandfather's Clock, the classic. We got 4. I think we're up to 4. Okay. I think this one will play I kind of like it. It's a tune called the It's called New Tatterjack. I don't know if there was an old Tatterjack. It's another delightful 6/8. I kind of dig 6/8s. I like the swing in them. It shows up in the Bruce and Emmett's afternoon concert duty, I believe, and I've also heard the melody used in some period songs from the 1860s. That kind of thing. It's a cool tune. We're still using the peeler Ranger green plastic. I'm trying to get the mustache out of the way as often as I can. I meant to wax, but it's hell, it's Monday, which means it's Saturday for me. So here's the New Tatterjack in 6/8 time. The New Tatterjack. Not sure where the old one went to. A quick follow up that another 6/8 on the same page. It starts with a T as well. Another song I'm fond of, something called Talawan. Oh no, I messed that up. Sorry. Take two. A traditional tune, but historic. It goes back. I've seen it in manuals. I've seen it in the Fort Snelling book. I think I've seen it in a Elias Howe book, and it's certainly in ancient fife and drum books. It's in this book, and it's in the company book as well. The Village Quickstep in 6/8 time. Yeah, that third part lends itself to some hot dogging and arranging too. Cool tune though. I enjoy playing it. uh, a traditional tune written in the modern era, and a powerful tune. It packs a punch when the band plays it, corps plays it. And it's written by a fellow named Roy Watrous. I recently obtained a collection of tunes written by Roy. Nice old gentleman from Connecticut. Played in a couple of really good bands. Started a really good band, so it's got some credits. This tune is played a lot, written in the 50s, still used. It was a big tune with my old core. Again, it's an in-your-face power tune. You play it, you come in the room playing this. We used to play it uh, when we were at competitions. We'd march into the competition arena or out, depending on the mood, playing this tune called Crown Point. It's named for a place in New York. That's about the extent of its connection to that. Crown Point, 2/4, on the Peeler Ranger Green Plastic 5. And sometimes we played that into another tune written by a contemporary of Roy's, a fellow named Bill Krug, called Corn Liquor. But I can't remember how it goes. So, and I can't find the music to it. So, don't think about it. Uh, we'll finish off with another 20th century tune written by a guy, attributed to a guy named Sanford Moeller, or Gus Moeller. Gus Moeller's legendary uh, drums still dot the landscape in ancient fife and drum. Moeller's story is kind of cool. I mean, drummers of all styles of drummers know him. His style of playing, his technique. Interesting story, as far as I'm concerned, was the fact that it was said that as a young man, he would visit old soldiers' homes and talk to Civil War field musician veterans in these homes and ply them with tobacco and things to get them to reveal their techniques and secrets. Uh, I don't know if that's true, but it sounded like a cool story. And he is credited with writing this five tune, which is kind of cool. You know, it's got a neat sound to it, and I always enjoy playing it. So we're going to play it today. It's called Pumpkin Creek by Sanford Gus Moeller. And please forgive. I got to be honest with you. I haven't played fife in a while. I get away with murder because I played it a lot when I was younger. But it's good to play in this room. My ears are ringing a little bit. I'll have to start wearing ear protection again when I play these things because they're just loud. But anyway, this is the last one for today. Sanford Moeller's Pumpkin Creek in 2/4 time. Push the big mustache out of the way. Almost makes you want to play it again. Pumpkin Creek by Gus Moeller. Well, we'll do some more of this. This was fun. Maybe I'll try using my other fives, the wooden ones, as well. But this fife is really good. I enjoy playing this a lot. Uh, I enjoy playing music from the books. If you're interested in the book, you can probably get it. It's a Mel Bay publication, but it It was written by or compiled by Walt Sweet. So the book's out there. You can find it anywhere. And it's got some good tunes. There's another one called The Bread and Butter of Jamming, which has a pile of tunes also. And Walt's father, of course, many, many years ago, published this really cool book, The Fifer's Delight. It's my second version. It's in great shape. Which also has a pile of traditional ancient tunes in it. So yeah, if you're looking for music, that's one of the places. You can also I bought the Watchers book from the Company of Fifers and Drummers, along with, I have their compilations, volume 1, 2, and 3. Some good music in there too. So keep looking, and see you next time. Stay safe, wash your hands, do what you're supposed to do.